Hello, everybody. My name is Matt. I'm very happy to be back for the Angeles Documentaries Competition and Film Festival. It's the second time I'm doing this for this festival. Very happy to be here. I'm a documentary filmmaker myself, so I know a little bit what I'm talking about. I know how difficult it is and what it implies to make a documentary in today's world. And today I'm going to make an interview with Milena, who made a fantastic documentary, and she just won the category at the Angeles Documentaries for best research and investigation. So that's going to be a first for me to talk about. And without further ado, welcome, Milena. How are you doing?
Thank you, Matt. Very well. Thank you.
So we are here to talk about you and talk about your film. Before we started, you told me that you are in Bulgaria right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what are you doing there? This is the best place for you right now to write scripts and make films?
Yes, it is. I'm also a writer and a screenwriter. I have I have been the head writer for 3 very successful TV series, primetime drama on Bulgarian main channels, TV channels. And I stumbled up on the theme of this documentary that you just saw, Weimar Express, which intrigued me so much. I wanted at first to write a feature film, but then I decided that this has to be a documentary because there is so much history in it. And
you're already starting to answer some of the questions I was going to have. This is going to be a very interesting interview. Tell me, so all the documentaries of the 15th edition of the festival we are talking about, everything is going to screen tomorrow on the Xerb platform, and everything is going to be free. So you have the link right now, and you can check on the documentary by Milena tomorrow. Tell me, what is it about? It's a very interesting topic. How did you stumble onto that subject matter, and what is it about? For those who don't know anything about it,
right? It is a story which is happening during World War II. Between 1941 and 1943, and it is about writers and a group of writers who were selected by the German embassies in collaborating countries or in countries which were occupied by the Nazis. And the German ambassadors in these countries handpicked writers who were more inclined to be. They were nationalists, sympathizers to Hitler, and they were invited to a month-long trip through Germany and Austria, which ended up in Weimar, where Goebbels decided to establish European Writers' Union so he can dethrone Paris as a cultural capital of the world and make Germany this cultural Weimar, because the modernist writers and anything that was avant-garde was deemed morally criminal, basically. Yeah. So I found out that one of my favorite Bulgarian writers, a woman that I knew as when I was a little girl because my grandma took me to see her, to visit her. She was the only woman and the only Bulgarian writer who went on this month-long trip. So this intrigued me so much because you can imagine it's 1941, one woman and 36 men traveling through Europe and on the expense of the propaganda ministry. And so when I found out this story, it became a passion for me. And I really thought that because it's literally unknown that Goebbels.
I didn't know nothing about it. I knew about the efforts they put into the propaganda and the Olympic Games and all this kind of stuff that everybody knows. But that very specific story, I didn't know nothing about. So let's take a look at the trailer of your film.
Okay.
That's going to give the viewers a little bit more context and an idea of the scope of the work you did on that. Let me play this here, then put it here.
1941 година 36 писатели и една жена писателка от 17 европейски страни са поканени от Гьобелс на едномесечно пътуване из Германия, завършващо в Ваймар.
И му казват, че търсят Фани Попова-Мотафа от германска делегация в София. Имало покана за нея. Поканата е от Немския научен институт в София.
The promise of the new European literature world is that it will be for these national writers. And all these cosmopolitans and Jews, they'll be gone.
Who will have the biggest PR impact? And the result was Knut Hamsun.
Pour leur montrer en fait la gloire de la culture allemande. Et en échange de l'invitation, justement, ces écrivains devaient chanter les louanges de l'Allemagne nazie.
Basically, they wanted to hire writers to promote the regime, and they took them on a trip so they would say good things and write good things about the Nazi Germany, correct?
Exactly. They didn't want to hire them. They wanted to attract them to the Nazi cause and to just to make them basically slaves of the Nazis, and to write about how Hitler is great, how Goebbels is amazing, and how this new world order will be just the best. And
how did you first know about this topic? How did you learn about that piece of history?
I did learn through an amazing book. Benjamin Martin, he appears in the trailer, the guy with the glasses.
Okay.
He's a historian and he teaches history in Sweden, in Uppsala, in the University of Uppsala. And he wrote an amazing book, which is published by Harvard Press. And it's called The New Nazi European Cultural Order. And the book is absolutely amazing. I recommend it to anybody who is interested in culture and manipulation and totalitarian manipulation, political. It's a fantastic book. So that was the first.
We've seen in the trailer that people speak, I guess, German, English, and also French. I recognize this one.
Yes.
So how difficult was it for you as the director and producer to deal with all these different languages?
No, German, I didn't have German, but I had French and English and Bulgarian. And luckily, I speak these three languages. Bulgarian is my native language, and French is also a language that I know. I totally understand. But so for me, it wasn't difficult. I didn't have the language barrier. And that makes a difference when you want to make a film which is more international and you have to contact people. Of course, English is always the best and everybody speaks English, but it's different if you know the languages of the people you want to interview.
Yeah, because you're going to have a direct connection with them.
Yes.
It's going to make it easier, definitely.
Yes.
In your Film Freeway presentation of the documentary, you mentioned the power of literature.
Yes.
And I think that's something we often forget in today's society, how books are important and how words have meaning, and basically how you can convince someone, seduce someone, manipulate someone with words and literature. And that whole film you did reminds us of that. And you're a writer yourself, you wrote books and playwrights and scripts. So you are very familiar with that. Do you want to elaborate on it?
Well, my film ends with the words matter. And this is something that I'm extremely aware of, and especially now, especially in the times we are now, because there is so much propaganda. There is so much. There is so much
Misinformation.
manipulation, fake news. Just it's so difficult to understand what is real, what is not, what is the truth. And I feel that people who are involved in film or in literature or in any art have a particular responsibility now, because there's so much racism, anti-Semitism, anti-Muslim, everything. It's just like
Anti-everything. There's always, it's like a funnel of opinions nonstop. How can a documentary like yours, how do you hope it may impact people's views? I know you're not supposed to make a documentary to impact people's opinions, but still, you're allowed to educate people. And this is exactly what you do with this film. Did you notice people being impacted, surprised, changing opinions, discovering facts through that film you made?
Absolutely. I'm very happy and grateful that I was invited to many screenings. There were many screenings around Europe of the film. It was also awarded to 5 or 6 festivals, including Angeles Doc. And young people who are not, I mean, World War II is so far away.
Kind of.
But the events happening now, to me, they remind me of what I have been taught in school, and I lived in a communist state. So I'm very aware of the manipulations that can go, and Russian propaganda, and how this affects people. And so young people they discovered something that opened their eyes for the ways literature can be used, because this is new. I mean, they haven't lived in times when literature can be used for political means. So I really hope this film to educate people, young or whoever, just to learn that it is very important to be on the side of humanity and not lose your humanity. That's the bottom line.
So for the Angeles documentaries, you won Best Research and Investigation in a documentary.
Thanks.
This is huge. So, and this is exactly, I guess, the type of documentary that you would expect the director and the people involved make a lot of research before filming and before running the interviews and for everything. So how big of a commitment was it? And I don't know, did you go to the library? Did you search Google? Did you go to encyclopedias? How did you research the actual facts and content you wanted to talk about?
It was incredibly exciting for me. It was like a detective work. And I enjoy doing research, and it's the first time that I'm doing research. So for me, it was something completely new. Yes, thank you. But it just engulfed me. And I started from the book, Benjamin Martin's book. Then I went to the National Library. Then I dug the internet. Is the most amazing place when it's used for peaceful meaning. And I found so much stuff on the internet, and I found many visual archives. I found things that historians didn't really know in Bulgaria for our Bulgarian writer. So they learned from people who were specialists here in Bulgaria. They saw for the first time this writer. I discovered footage with her.
That's amazing.
It was filmed during this visit with the other writers. There were writers from Norway, from Sweden, from France, from all over Europe, and she was the only woman. And I found this archival footage, and when I saw her, this was this was incredibly moving for me. And I'm very happy that I was able to contribute to European culture with this.
Because basically, your documentary and your research became a case study for historians in your country to look again at some facts that were disregarded and to discover footage that was never seen before.
Absolutely.
That's just amazing.
Thank you.
How does it make you feel on a very human level? Does it make you proud? Does it make you happy? Does it make you feel useful? All of the above? I don't know.
Useful. First, useful. Happy, extremely happy. Proud, a little bit, yes. I'm proud. But that's not like
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, and but useful. I really want to be useful. That's my my goal, and just to help people understand better the world.
Yeah. Did you work alone on the research part, or did you have a team with you? How did it work?
No, as you know, you're also a documentary director. This is a lonely work.
Yeah.
And especially on a historical subject, here in Bulgaria, the budgets are very low for documentaries. It was financed by I'm very grateful, it was supported by the Bulgarian National Film Company. But I was alone, and actually I enjoyed this work alone because it is a detective work. That's what it is. I enjoyed the thought of investigation.
Did you do the editing yourself?
I had an editor, but he was technically an editor. I was basically.
You were directing. You were directing the editing.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the reconstitution. You hired actors.
Yes.
To portray the riders in the train and all of that. A beautiful footage. So how do you do that? Because with a very limited budget, this is something that can very quickly get out of hand, and it's used very in a smart way in the documentary, just when you need it. You don't feel it's not a heavy thing. Sometimes it is with reconstitutions. For yours, the way you worked on the colors and the grading and the way it's edited, it's very smooth. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So much. I had an incredibly good DP, Emil Tupuzov. He's a very, very experienced, very famous Bulgarian director of photography. And so these beautiful images are his work. But I wanted something more metaphorical. I didn't want like a very how to say, like
you didn't want something illustrative.
Exactly. I didn't want
kind of a dreamy feeling.
Yes. So Bulgaria still it is not a very expensive country to film. And this train where we filmed these scenes, it is the train of the Bulgarian king. Bulgarian king during World War II, and this train is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and it's sitting there, and you pay a fee, and you can film there. And I rented the costumes, the actors. These are all great actors, and especially Iliana, who portrays the Fani Popova Mutafova. She's a very famous young actress in Bulgaria. She's in the National Theatre. And so I think that I wanted to make a point of certain moments when things changed, and that's when they were, the three of them, traveling towards Weimar, towards European fame. And in the meantime, people were traveling in the other direction, going to the concentration camps. And
tell me a little bit about the festivals, because with an independent documentary, film festivals are one of the most immediate way to get the movie out and to get people to watch it. You mentioned before that you had a little bit of success already. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I got I was selected for. I really wanted to participate in this Ukrainian film festival, and they selected it. I didn't want an award, but it's called Symbiotic Film Festival. Also, oh God, I have to pull up the names because I don't remember all the names. There's 6 festivals.
6
There was.
festivals that has been.
I was selected for the Chicago Women Film Festival, but didn't win an award. Stockholm City Film Festival. The film was awarded as a best documentary for month of June. And Athens Documentary Film Festival, best documentary for month of May.
Does every festival adding up, does it help to get even more visibility for the documentary, or does it help you work on the next project you have in mind?
I can't tell now yet. I really can't tell. No, for the future, I don't think so yet. But maybe people are looking at Film Freeway and they see, that I have some awards at these festivals. So I don't know. Maybe that affects the judgment for the other festivals. Unfortunately, I applied for some of the major big festivals, which was very ambitious. My film it's my first feature documentary, so I wasn't selected, but maybe the next one.
Maybe next time. How long did it take you, that project? How long, like a year, like 6 months, like 2 years? How long did it take
4 years.
4 years.
4 years from the beginning of my decision to write. I wanted initially to write a feature screenplay about this Bulgarian writer, Ani Mutafova, but then I decided that it's going to be a documentary. So I started really digging, and basically I had to gather the people that were commenting in the film, and just production. Production was pretty quick because I was ready. I was really ready. So it took, production-wise, it took 6 months.
6 months?
Yes.
How many days of filming do you think you had?
Filming, it was probably around 25, 26.
That's not
30,
bad. It's
30
a good
days.
amount. For an independent film, that's a good amount of days.
I'm very organized because I have worked in TV. I have worked on many TV shows, and I have the discipline to be very, you know how it's in TV, you got to deliver quick.
And it's very easy with a documentary. It's very easy to film a lot and then to get a little bit overwhelmed in the editing room. So when you're disciplined enough to get the footage you need during production, it's better.
I had a goal. I just want to say that I had, like, from the first moment I decided that this film should not be more than 1 hour and 15 minutes. So with this in mind, I worked all the time. I did not want to go above that because I realized that people cannot, attention is very difficult to get their attention. And that's why for me it was kind of easy, because I had to make it smaller from the beginning, without any pain that I'm leaving this out or this out. Of course, it could be one more film.
You had a frame from the start that you knew you wanted to reach. What's your next move? What's your next film? Is it going to be a documentary? Is it going to be a fiction? What's your next project?
Well, I have 2 projects, but one is it's a feature. It's a dystopian feature called "The Last Woman on Earth." But there is a documentary. The theme of World War II, I couldn't get away from. So it's going to be it's going to be like another second episode of Weimar Express, but it will be about the Bulgarian commissary of Jewish affairs there was in Paris, there was a French commissary of Jewish affairs, and the way the Jews were slowly suffocated, and the way this guy worked against them. And I will be making parallels with the situation in France, because there is the right hand of Eichmann, who is the inventor of the final solution, Otto Dannecker. He came to Bulgaria and then went to France to set up the deportations and to set up the whole business of exterminating Jews. So that's my second project.
Okay. Is there anything you want to add about the documentary about Weimar Express? Anything that we didn't touch on?
No, I just hope more people see it. That's all, because I think it's educational. That's the goal. And I also want to thank Angelus Docs and you for this conversation.
So if you want to watch Milena's documentary, it's going to screen tomorrow with all the documentaries of the 15th edition. You have the link on your screen. It's going to be a free screening. And on top of that film that's really amazing, with an amazing work of research and history and facts, that's very refreshing. Even if it's an old story, it's refreshing the way you talk about it and the way it's very well documented. And there's a bunch of other documentaries in the screening tomorrow. Very different topics, from dogs and animals to the war to Bitcoin to everything in today's world. So if you want to watch that film, it's going to be tomorrow. You have the link. Milena, I was very happy to talk to you today, and I'm wishing you the very best for your next project. And as a reminder, you already won Best Investigative and Research at the Enranes Documentaries. Congratulations on that, because really that film deserves it, and you deserve it. It's an amazing piece of work that you are offering us, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you for the wonderful conversation. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. You too.
Bye-bye.